Attorney Brandon Birmingham joining us now live, longtime felony prosecutor, will soon be sworn in January 1 as a criminal district judge here in town. All right, you've done death penalty cases. What do you think was the most important thing or things that happened today?
By far the thing that happened most that was going to stick out in the jurors' minds was this Crime Stoppers tip that was ostensibly anonymous, but that the investigators were able to trace back to Eric Williams. During the course of the investigation, the investigators did a search warrant on Eric Williams' house, and they found a sheet of paper that had on it some writing, and they were able to determine that that sheet of paper with that writing belonged to a tip. And in that tip, as Richard Ray was describing, and we saw a little bit there, was the words of Eric Williams, "We're not done yet. Basically, give us what we want, and we won't be stopped." And those kind of threatening words to law enforcement.
And that's easier for a juror to get. I don't mean to diminish the jury, but that stuff's easier to get than maybe the upper and this ballistic result.
Right.
And all this kind of thing. Here's the code. Here's what the caller on that code said, and it's easier to link, right?
It's easier to link, and it also has such value in a case like this when you think about what type of person the jurors have to imagine would be able to commit a crime like this. And then they get to see with their own two eyes his words and how he's sort of bragging about what he did and sort of taunting the police officers, trying to manipulate them. That's going to go a long way. And certainly where we are in the trial now is jurors are going to remember that as they hear the evidence that may be presented later on in the punishment phase of this trial. They'll already have that idea about who Eric Williams is as they go on and listen to that part.
It's prosecution's turn to put the case on.
Yes.
They should be winning, I suppose. Are they winning at this point?
They've put on a lot of evidence. We've heard a little bit from the defense today, trying to cast a little bit of doubt on the gunshot residue. That will be their turn after the state rests. I anticipate that'll be Thursday or Friday. They can then, the defense can put on whatever they want and go forward from there.
Anything that you have seen that you say, wow, the defense missed an opportunity, the defense should be doing something else at this point?
No, I think there was a lot of litigation that happened during the pretrial process. They tried to keep a lot of evidence out, I understand. And what they're doing is they're picking and choosing their battles. The feeling I get is they're waiting for the battle to start that they feel like they have the best chance of winning. And that might be in the punishment phase of this trial to spare his life.
Okay, Crime Stoppers connection, big.
Huge.
I don't think the prosecution throws out their biggest piece right in the middle, right? Am I right?
That's probably right.
So is there something bigger coming? Do you
Sure. This was the first part of the day started out by tying some things together. We heard from the alarm at the McClellan house, the alarm company from the McClellan house, where the prosecution was able to narrow down the time frame between 6:40 and 6:42, and the time of the killing was during that exact time. We now know from testimony yesterday that the storage shed with this white Crown Victoria and this treasure trove, as Mr. Worski described in his opening statement, was accessed earlier at about 6 o'clock in the morning and then accessed again about 7:45. So they're starting to overlay this overwhelming evidence and lock it, as Mr. Worski said, and make it an airtight case.
Is a big play to kind of hammer this? Is Kim Williams a big play?
Boy, she sure
Eric
could
Williams'
be.
estranged wife?
Yeah, she sure could be. She is charged with this crime. She could testify, depending on whether the state decides to make that determination to call her to testify in this case.
All right. Changes every day, Brandon Birmingham. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Good analysis. Thank you.